Mikhail reached a fever pitch when the captain decided to use a sting operation. He marked 9 $100 bills and put them in his wallet, intending to leave it where Mikhail's pirates would find it. When they spend it, wham! Grand larceny. Binghamton chuckled to Carpenter. But a new player entered the game. Sydney. Sydney was an alligator that Parker had befriended with peanut butter sandwiches. He's a friendly alligator, Skip. He smiles at me, Parker insisted. Sydney, lurking near the lagoon, saw Binghamton drop the wallet. Thinking it was a new kind of sandwich, Sydney snapped it up and wandered back to Parker's shack. When Binghamton went to check his trap, the wallet was gone. He immediately arrested the entire crew of PT-73. "I've got you. Grand larceny. $900. We didn't take it, Captain." "Sydney did." "Sydney? Is that a code name for your illegal steal?" "No, sir. He's an alligator." The court-martial was a circus. Binghamton acted as the prosecutor, screaming about thieving cutthroats. "I demand you produce this, Sydney," the judge advocate ordered. Mikhail and the boys whistled. Sydney crawled into the courtroom, the wallet still firmly wedged in his mouth. "Aha!" Mikhail shouted. "Exhibit A. Get that monster out of here." Binghamton shrieked, climbing onto the judge's table. Parker approached Sydney. "Open up, boy. Give it to the nice Navy men." Sydney obliged, dropping the wallet. The bills were inside, marked, just as Binghamton had described. "Those are the bills? The ones the captain told me to mark so we could frame Mikhail?" The courtroom went silent. The judge advocate looked at Binghamton. "A frame-up, Captain? Using Navy funds?" Binghamton turned a ghostly shade of white. I can explain. The alligator. He's in on it too." The charges were dropped. Sydney was given a permanent bunk in the lagoon, and Binghamton was ordered to pay for the witnesses' upkeep in peanut butter. Chapter 6. The New Caledonia Payroll Cape. The final showdown took place in New Caledonia. The crew was sent there to pick up the base payroll $62,000 in small, unmarked bills. Binghamton was convinced this was the ultimate temptation. "They won't be able to resist," he told Carpenter. "We'll follow them in secret." Parker was assigned to carry the bag. While walking down Saloon Road near a racetrack, he was distracted by a beautiful woman. He tripped, hit his head, and when he woke up, the money was gone. "Skip, I lost it." All I saw was a girl's ankle with a heart-shaped birthmark. "A birthmark? That's our only clue?" Mikhail asked. The crew began a frantic search of New Caledonia, looking at every female ankle in the city. Gruber used a serial number on the table leg ruse to inspect the ankles of women at cafes, while Mikhail and Parker dodged Binghamton, who was lurking around every corner with a pair of binoculars. They finally spotted the culprits, a pair of local thugs who had snatched the bag. The chase led through a winery, a laundry, and finally to an old fort on the edge of town. Binghamton spotted them. "Aha! They're meeting their accomplices! Arrest them all!" A massive brawl broke out. The thugs tried to escape by stuffing the money into an old ceremonial cannon. During the fight, a stray cigar from one of the thugs landed on the cannon's fuse. Boom! Instead of a cannonball, a cloud of $20 and $50 bills exploded into the air, raining down on the entire street. "Manna from heaven," Gruber shouted, grabbing bills out of the air. "That's the payroll," Binghamton screamed, trying to catch the money in his hat. When the dust settled, Mikhail and his men were industriously gathering the bills and handing them back to a stunned paymaster. "We were just protecting the funds, sir," Mikhail said with a straight face. "The thugs tried to blow it up, but we intercepted." Binghamton stood there, covered in soot, clutching a single $1 bill. He looked at Mikhail, then at the sky, then at the $62,000 being safely locked away. "Why me?" he whispered to the wind. "Why is it always me?" Back on Taratupa, the sun set over the lagoon. "You know, Skip," Parker said, leaning back. "I think the captain is finally starting to like us." Mikhail laughed, looking up at the captain's office where a light was still burning. "Parker, as long as there's a war, and as long as we're on this boat, Captain Binghamton will have a reason to get up in the morning. Even if it's just to try and hang us." And across the water, the faint sound of a stomach gurgling could be heard. as Wallace B. Binghamton reached for his pills and began to plan his next brilliant and undoubtedly doomed revenge. Note to the reader: this response was generated using the fallback model Gemini 2.5 Flash Image Preview, as the requested advanced image generation and multi-turn editing features are currently unavailable in this environment. The Tropical Tempest of Taratupa, an original novel of war, wits, and wackiness, based on the Chronicles of McHale's Navy. Chapter 1: The Ulcer in the Officers' Club. The island of Taratupa was, by all geographical standards, a paradise. It had white sand, swaying palms, and a turquoise lagoon that looked like it had been painted by a god with a penchant for postcards. However, to Captain Wallace B. Binghamton, the base commander, Taratupa was a humid hellscape populated by pirates, malcontents, and one specific thorn in his side. Lieutenant Commander Quinton McHale Binghamton sat in his office, his face a shade of purple that matched the tropical sunset. His stomach acid was currently doing a convincing impression of a car battery. Across from him stood his adjutant, Lieutenant Elroy Carpenter, a man whose primary skill was being a yes-man so profound he could agree with two contradictory statements in the same breath. "Wow, wow, wow, wow," Binghamton muttered, staring at a supply manifest. "Garter belts, Carpenter. I'm the commanding officer of a strategic naval outpost in the middle of a global conflict, and I'm being asked to procure elastic hosiery." "Snap to it, sir," Carpenter chimed in. "Shake a leg." "Oh, you know what I mean." Binghamton ignored him. He had bigger problems. A message had just arrived from Confleet. Admiral Iron Pants Rafferty, a man whose name was earned by his rigid posture and even more rigid sense of discipline, was arriving for a sneak inspection. "Rafferty," Binghamton shrieked. "If he sees the state of this base, the backed-up sinks in the Petty Officers Club, the unauthorized steals, the gambling, I'll be lucky to be busted down to lighthouse keeper in the Aleutians." "Sir," Carpenter whispered, "your stomach acid. Remember the pills." "I don't care about the pills. If I was sick, truly sick, I could appoint an acting base commander. Let him face Rafferty. Let him be the one Iron Pants executes." Binghamton's eyes darted toward the window. Down at the docks, the crew of PT-73 was currently engaging in a fire drill that involved a hula hoop and a case of illegal beer. A wicked grin spread across the captain's face. "I've got it. I'll appoint Macau. With that pirate in charge, he'll destroy himself in front of the admiral. It's brilliant. Carpenter, call the medic. I'm having a relapse of everything." Chapter 2: The Acting Base Commander. Quinton McHale was a man who believed that war should be interrupted by as many luau parties as possible. When he was summoned to Binghamton's deathbed at the infirmary, he found the captain draped in a robe, looking about as frail as a prizefighter pretending to have a cold. "Oh, McHale," Binghamton moaned, his acting skills comparable to a high school drama dropout. "I'm in bad shape. The medics, they don't know if I'll pull through. I have to appoint an acting base commander. I was going to pick Carpenter, but he's a boob." "He certainly is, sir," McHale agreed heartily. "So, I'm appointing you McHale, and your executive officer, Ensign Parker, will be the acting executive officer of the base." Ensign Charles Parker, a man who could trip over a flat surface, beamed with pride. "Oh, boy. Did you hear that, Skipper? Acting exec. You won't regret this, Captain." Binghamton buried his face in his pillow to hide his laughter. "Out. Go to my office. Take command this minute." The moment McHale and Parker stepped into the headquarters, the chaos was instantaneous. The phone rang. It was the nurses wanting their garter belts. Then it was the Seabees complaining that the new rifle range was accidentally pointed at the latrines. "Parker, handle the garter belts," McHale shouted over the din. "Chief, tell the Seabees to keep their heads down. And someone, get the hula girls out of the air raid shelter." While McHale tried to manage the administrative side of the base, which mostly involved approving a shindig for the boys, the crew of PT-73 took acting command to mean full-scale carnival. Within hours, Taratupa looked less like a naval base and more like a chaotic